What is going on, SHJ Army? Today we're back for another How To Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about how to rest between your sets, how to know how long you should rest between sets. It's something that gets asked all the time. It's something that I specifically want to talk about because I know some people have a tendency to focus on small things, and I know the small things add up to be larger things, but putting your focus on other things that really matter, like your nutrition and things like that, first, and mastering, let's say, your diet and picking that and finding what's sustainable and mastering your workout and your programming and training intuitively and things like that might come before other things. So that's another thing I want to talk about in the video. It's going to be nice and quick, but we're going to be talking about how to rest between your sets. Some things I want to compare, can you see this, is 60 seconds to 20-second rest versus 3 to 5 minute rests. I want to talk about some people that I've seen utilize certain different resting periods, talk about certain workouts where this would change how long you're resting. So before I get into that, wanted to quick announcement. I finished Vicious. I think I told you guys in the last video. I have that book review up. If you guys are keeping along with what I'm reading The Daughter of Sherlock Holmes next. That book review will be up once I finish that. I'm about halfway through. Yeah, that's it for announcements. Cool stuff is coming. Working on some awesome things. New program, the Bodyweight book, is coming out. That's going to incorporate all calisthenics type movements and mix in even some parkour and mixed martial arts training that Coach Derek is actually helping me create for that. That won't be out for some time, but still cool to talk about because I'm currently working on it. Anyways, cue the music, crack the monster, and let's do this. Alright, so one thing you might have noticed is I don't even have the laptop open, but I want to specifically talk about certain things when it comes to training time and, training rest time between sets. I know some people in the academy, shout out to Eddie, I know he likes to be very specific with his rest times, and that sometimes structure is a lot better. And I've been talking to people about this, new members in the academy. Sometimes it's better to be restrictive and have structure, so you have to do a specific thing. Even when it comes to dieting, for example, we have 2 classes in the academy that are top tier classes in the nutrition side of things, and one is the Greek God class and the other is the Superhuman Diet. The Superhuman Diet is much more restrictive than the Greek God class. I'm currently using the Greek God class, and I'm seeing great results with it. I've utilized it with the bulk and strength and the cut and shred program, and the nutrition is just awesome for me. But some people can go into that, and because it's not as restrictive, next thing you know, they're falling off their diet and it's harder. So sometimes using something more restrictive and sometimes using a specific program can help you sustain it, and then you open it up when you get into that. So that's one thing I want to say before we even start. Another thing I want to say is I've researched over 200 celebrities now, and only one has specifically said anything about tracking their time between sets. So sometimes I'll be asked, you know, how long does this person rest between sets? And I can't tell you specifically because that celeb might actually track it, but it's not important enough where they're mentioning it in the interviews themselves. So the one person who has said that they generally rest from 60, they actually said 60 to 90 seconds, says 60 to 120 seconds here just for the visual aspect of it, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has mentioned in his assistance training that he rests anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds. He's a top tier athlete. He's amazing. If you guys want to be on that program, sure, but I don't want it to be holding you back from hitting a higher lift. So we've talked about things like pyramid training. I'll link to that video. Oh my God, where is it? I don't know. I'll link to that video so you know what pyramid training is, and we talk about compound lifts and working sets versus warm-up sets in that video as well. So one thing I want to talk about is we've seen how would the Hulk train, for example, and we talked about like 5x5s and really focusing in on heavy compounds. So if you're forcing yourself to stay in a 60 to 90 second or 60 to 120 second range, that might actually hurt you when trying to go for strength or specifically increase your compound lifts like a power lifter would, let's say, because it's not enough time. So forcing that time isn't always the best. Sometimes I'll rest for 3 to 5 minutes because one day I might go into the gym on a Monday and I might feel great. That's just how my body's reacting to certain things that are going on with my life, and I might be able to hit it after 60 to 90 seconds and still rip a new personal record. But that next Monday I go in, I might have a completely different feeling, and it might be better for me to rest 3 to 5 minutes in between those heavy lifts, especially on a compound lift that I'm focusing on pulling 3 to 5 reps of, and I'm focusing on strength. And then when I get to my assistance work and I'm pyramid training, maybe I shoot back for that 60 to 120 mark, but I never actually have my timer out. I'm never actually paying full attention to specific timing between my workouts. And so far it's worked great for me. But that's just me. Sometimes it is better to say, okay, this is my actual program from Superhero Jacked, and I'm going to take 60 to 120 second rests between each of my assistant work, and 2 to 4 minute rests on my compound lifts, depending on how I feel in between that. And that's kind of training intuitively while still following a structure and a program. So there's no specific time that I would suggest to you. If you want to step it up a notch and you're at the training level of Dwayne Johnson, for example, then worrying about specific timing might come into your plan, but it's not something I'm even at the level of specifically worrying about. I like to train intuitively, even with choosing my lifts and my assistance work and my compound lifts and focusing around. If I don't feel it that day, I might even skip the compound. If I'm off, I don't want to hurt myself. Training intuitively is really important to me, and knowing how long I should rest. And I will say this, when it comes to rest, more celebrities have talked about the sleep that they need to get in order to recover from their workouts than they've talked about recovering in between each set, or the time between each set. So if maybe you might worry about losing your pump in between each set and keeping your training going. But to be honest, if you're lifting in a pyramid training style and you want to pump more weight up, taking a 2 to 3 minute rest isn't going to hurt you. Just be aware and train intuitively. And yeah, you can always step it up from there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was nice and quick. I wanted to talk about a couple different things, use some compare and contrast, and have some fun with it. Let you guys know how I feel about it. Other people might have different takes on it. Obviously, this isn't the scientific background of why you should do it and what you should not do. I wanted to tell you what I personally do, what I've seen celebs do, and whether or not they talk about it. And yeah, go on the information I know. So smash the thumbs up button. Let me know what you guys want to talk about, and see you later. Hey guys, I love pepperoni, and if you subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and check out the links below, I'll get to eat more pepperoni, like, because I'm a puppy, and I love pepperoni. Please, get me more pepperoni, I just need it. Oh yes, pepperoni's so good. Please subscribe and like.